What's up, family? I want to welcome you to Jay's Gems, episode number 1. The show topic is the difference between Kanye and Kyrie. Now, Jay's Gems is a short 3 to 10 minute audio and video podcast on the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint YouTube channel and also the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint podcast. So make sure you subscribe. You do not have to go and subscribe to an additional podcast to get this. This is just a mini podcast in a podcast, I guess you could call it. But today we're going to talk about the difference between Kanye and Kyrie. Now, it's funny because of all of this stuff going on in the news right now, it really lets you know where we stand as a people. Okay, I talk about on the show all the time about being an entrepreneur versus an employee. And the difference between Kanye and Kyrie is just that. So whoever pays you controls you. Remember that. Whoever pays you controls you. And I did an episode number 419 on Black Entrepreneur Blueprint titled the same thing. Whoever pays you controls you. Make sure you go and check that out. And I'll have the link in the description below. Now, Kanye is an entrepreneur, so he controls himself. The problem with Kanye right now is he doesn't understand how powerful he is. Kyrie, on the other hand, is an employee of the the Brooklyn Nets. And right now they've suspended him indefinitely, and he's even talking about retiring. So as an employee, once again, whoever pays you controls you. You can't do or say whatever you want when somebody else is paying your salary. Now, the true key to find out if you're a real entrepreneur, guys, is when you sign the front and the back of your check. And it's a little joke me and my business partners used to have because we ran into the bank one day, and when I had my mortgage company and we were taking out big withdrawals, and there was a new teller there, and she was like, I don't understand. You signed the front and the back of your check. I'm like, yeah, because I own the business. So that's the true sign if you're an entrepreneur, when you sign the front and the back of your check. Now, let's look a little bit at the difference between what Kyrie is dealing with and what Kanye or Ye is dealing with right now. So on October 27th, Kyrie Irving tweeted a link about the Hebrews to Negroes Wake Up Black America, which was a 2018 film driven by, according to the media, anti-Semitic tropes about Jewish people lying about their origins. Among its false and outlandish claims is the assertion that the Holocaust never happened. Now, I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen the movie, so I'm just going to go with what the New York Times reported. So because of this post, Kyrie was suspended indefinitely by the Nets. He was dropped by Nike, and the Kyrie 8 is not coming out. Okay, so, you guys were laughing at Ball, right? The big baller sneakers. But guess what? Ball had a great idea. He wanted to create his own brand of sneakers as opposed to having Nikes, Adidas, Reebok, Under Armour, or whoever controlling the actual sneaker product that his sons were going to wear. So don't hate on LeVar Ball because I think he had a great concept. I just think he brought it to market the wrong way. So you see right now, Kyrie is pretty much getting blackballed. They had him do all kinds of different things in order to possibly get reinstated, such as, number one, issue an apology for posting the link about the movie and condemn the harmful and false content and make clear that he does not have anti-Jewish beliefs. I'm reading this from the New York Times. Number two, complete the anti-hate clause that the Nets and the Anti-Defamation League agreed upon in their joint release and include a $500,000 donation toward causes and organizations that work to eradicate hate and intolerance in communities. Number three, complete sensitivity training created by the Nets. Number four, complete anti-Semitic, anti-hate training designed by the Nets. Number five, meet with representatives from the Anti-Defamation League as well as the Jewish community leaders in Brooklyn. And number six, after completing 1 to 5, meet with the owner of the Nets and the lead franchise officials and demonstrate the lessons learned and the gravity and the harm caused by the situation. And it's understood, and you're going to provide an assurance that this type of behavior will not be repeated. So those are the conditions that Kyrie has to deal with in order to possibly get reinstated back on the the Brooklyn Nets of the National Basketball Association. Now, that's an employee. Now, let's look at Kanye. And Kanye made the statement about DEFCON 3 on all Jews. Now, here's the whole crazy thing about Kanye, guys. He doesn't even realize how powerful he is. Kanye doesn't need Adidas. He doesn't need Balenciaga. He doesn't need the Gap. And he doesn't need any of them. And he can do everything that he's trying to do by himself. But the problem is he doesn't understand how powerful he is. Now, one of the first things he needs to do is stop talking some of that dumb stuff about George Floyd wasn't strangled. There was no knee on his neck. Talking about white lives matter. All of that craziness. He needs to cut that nonsense out. But here's a typical example of somebody that doesn't know their own power because they're used to having a handler. It's just like if an elephant in the circus, when they're babies, their ankles are tied to a stake so they can't leave or can't roam around. Once they become older, they can easily pull that stake out and go anywhere they want, but they've been conditioned that they need a handler. Now, let's look at what happened to Kanye after his interview on Drink Champs and some of his statements. JP Morgan Chase closed his accounts, told him to take his $140 million somewhere else. The Gap never put out any of his designs. Def Jam, Ye had a 10-album contract with them that was fulfilled after the Donda album, and he's now a free agent. And they also had released him from, he had a label on Def Jam called Good Imprint. He had a distribution deal, and they shut that down. Also, Adidas ended their relationship with Ye and the Yeezy sneakers. Foot Locker pulled Yeezy from their stores. Balenciaga, the fashion house, cut all ties with him. CAA, which is Creative Arts Agency, who represents his touring, shut him down. Ari Emanuel, CEO of WME Talent. So if you guys ever watched the HBO show called Entourage, that guy Ari was based off of this real life guy, Ari Emanuel. So Ari Emanuel, CEO of WME Talent Agency, called for Spotify and Apple to deplatform him and called for Parler not to sell the platform to them. Parler is a social media platform that Ye is trying to buy. MRC Film and Television shelved the documentary on Kanye. Aaron Donald from the Rams and Jaylen Brown from the Celtics left Donda Sports agent management company that Kanye ran. Peloton stopped using his music. TJ Maxx stopped selling Yeezys. Donda Academy got shut down. And even Madame Tussauds London Wax Museum moved his wax figure to the archives, so you can't take a picture with Kanye now. So here's the thing about Kanye, guys. He's an entrepreneur. Kyrie is an employee. It is very simple for Kanye to continue with all of his business ventures. For example, in terms of the Yeezy sneakers, all he literally has to do is go to the manufacturer that was manufacturing them from Adidas, create a contract with them, and start selling direct to consumer. Kylie Jenner created a beauty brand and became a billionaire going direct to consumer. Kanye needs to understand the power that he has. He can simply do that. Also, he doesn't need Foot Locker because you can go direct to consumer if you want to create your own Yeezy stores. Guess what? He can do it just like Apple created stores. You don't care about Foot Locker because you can create your own distribution. Vertical distribution is the key. Now, guess what? JP Morgan Chase doesn't want his money in the bank. Yeezy had talked about buying his own bank. Why don't you do that? I saw an interview where Diddy told him that he would help him buy a bank. You need to start banking black anyway. Take control over everything. So all of this stuff that people have taken from Ye, he can actually recreate. Guess what? You don't need a representative for your art. You don't need a Def Jam record label to distribute your products or people that you sign. You can do this directly. Guys, we have to understand the power that we have. Kanye or Ye has power, and he literally does not need anybody else to do what he needs to do. We as a people have power to do everything that we need to do. We have to stop believing that we need a handler to accomplish the things that we want to accomplish. Everything that Ye was stripped of, he can recreate, and everything we need to do as a community, we have access to it. We just got to get to it. Hey, that's Jay's Gems. Make sure you subscribe to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the podcast, and the YouTube channel so you can get Jay's Gems and the regular podcast. See you on the podcast. Peace.